Well, we need to introduce ourselves. So I'm Paul.
I'm Erika.
And we're Protagonist Lab. Today at the lab, we are speaking with Karen Tax about vulnerability. Karen Tax is a holistic goal and leadership coach for individuals and businesses. Karen holds an MS in organization development and a BA in computer science. She is the founder of 3 business startups. Karen is an expert at guiding businesses and individuals. Her experience and wisdom is distilled into the I Am Way, a life and work transformation system that helps people replace workplace stress with workplace engagement and ownership. Karen? Reading over your website, I noticed something that struck me as an interesting choice.
Okay.
You are very upfront about having 2 startups not succeed.
Right.
Why do you position yourself as a change agent for organizations and individuals, leading with, I had 2 not great projects?
Right. Because I think it's really important as a leader to be able to fail and to not be afraid to fail and to be willing to learn from failure. And if I'm afraid of failure and I will try to not fail at any cost, then that's going to keep me from taking risks, appropriate risks. That's going to keep me from learning what I need to learn. There's all kinds of disadvantages to somebody who's afraid of failing. It's a liability.
Right. The fear of failure component too.
Right. There's the emotional side of it. Right. So what I know is any kind of success takes a fortitude, a persistence, and a courageous and kind of a willingness to just stick with it. It's about showing up and showing up and showing up and being willing to put yourself out there.
That's how the stones get smooth.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. So if I'm able to stumble and get back up, have a failure, and not have that be something that I'm ashamed of or that I don't want people to know about, but it's like, yeah, I've done that, and I've gotten through it, then that becomes an asset. My ability, it's actually resilience, right? My ability to get through things and be able to have empathy too with people to say, yeah, man, I've been there, done that, know what that's like.
Yeah. And it's showing you've learned something too.
Right.
Another theme that has come up in our conversations with students has been what we talked about a little bit, just this sort of fear, this like worry, insecurity, not sure, should you reach out, is now the time to reach out? So we think of that as sort of vulnerability. Do you see a connection between authenticity, motivation, and the vulnerability question?
Absolutely. So vulnerability is willing to have yourself be exposed in some way. Like, this is who I am, and this is what I want. I want to perform well at school. Just even saying that is a big deal, because I want to perform well might be a little more important maybe than looking cool and always having the right answer, right? Like, I'm willing to risk looking silly, being not having the answer, being exposed in some way, to be vulnerable, to go for what it is that I really want. So what we have to remember is those peak performances that we see out there. It could be an athlete, it could be an actor, it could be a model in the fashion, right? It could be a technologist. What we have to remember is all the hours and hours and hours of work, and the trying and the failing and the fears that we're to get to that level of performance. It doesn't just happen, right?
Sort of,
and let's keep going.
It seems
yes
that there is some of that, but sometimes 99%, while I'm making the effort, I'm not getting a level that's anywhere near peak. And I don't know if that is, so there's a voice that will say, keep going, give it another shot. And then there's another voice that will say, nuh-uh. So which is the right voice?
Well, I teach this as the voice of authenticity, the real you, the one who wants it, who's a powerful creator, who knows that what you want matters. Your creativity, your creative expression matters. Your talents matter, versus the voice of doubt, which is the self-critic, the cynic, right? And it's really where you choose to focus your attention. The way I work with people is that doubting voice is not the true you, right? That's not who you really are. It might be an aspect of you, but the true you is talented and brilliant and capable and always becoming more so.
Why? Computer science,
Right,
organizational development.
right.
What is an organization development scientist do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we look at the way an organization is structured, the components of an organization, and what it is that the organization is wanting to achieve, the vision and mission, and say, is it designed to accomplish that vision and mission?
Well, Karen, there's only one organization. There's a president, and then a vice president, and then a secretary,
there's
and a treasurer.
so much more than that.
What's
Yeah.
more than that?
So, what are your values of your organization? So, what's important to you? What are your core competencies? What are you basing the capabilities of this organization on to achieve what it is that you want to achieve? I could go on and on.
I understand some of those words.
Yes.
I hear core competency an awful lot
Right.
on the radio and in podcasts, and I wonder how well people really understand core competency.
Yeah.
What is a core competency?
A core competency is what it is that you're fundamentally talented at, good at.
So how do I know what my core competencies are?
So the way I teach it as a career coach and a leadership development person is I have people identify their strengths. Clifton Strengths Finder assessment, what are you really good at? What are your natural talents, the things that come easily to you? You don't have to work really hard at it. It just happens. You're good at it. Right? That's part of what this is. And I want to make sure we say this bit about community and collaboration and all of this related to study groups, because what's happening in a study group is you are learning how to be a leader of your own life and your own work and put it out there in a way with a group of other people that really replicates what's needed in most organizations. We need collaboration. We
Very
need
good
community.
experience.
Yeah, so if you can do it in your school setting and be the leader for yourself of what you need, you're going to learn how to do that elsewhere. And it's actually something that employers I see more and more looking for. Like collaboration is a value in a lot of organizations. So if you can demonstrate that you were a leader on campus creating study groups, right? That's going to play well in a business.
That collaboration piece is really, I don't know what metric or measurement could be used to determine this, but I just feel like collaboration is just becoming more and more important every day.
Huge.
And in fact, I think it's not recognized as important as it is. We recently just had the Nobel Prizes given.
Right.
And I was hearing that they are having a harder and harder time giving the Nobel Prize, especially in science, to an individual or to
heard
even
that
to
too.
two people.
Right.
I didn't
Because
know.
you have projects now that like hundreds of people are working on in hundreds of different labs all over the world.
Right.
You have discoveries being made that are like mini discoveries that all lead
know.
to one big thing. And I wonder if eventually the Nobel Prize Committee will just say, this is not working anymore.
Right.
Right, yeah.
It's a great
Well, no,
example.
I hope
yeah.
they don't say that, but that's really interesting. Maybe they need to adapt their definition.
Right. I don't mean that they would.
It would be interesting to know how you handled feeling vulnerable.
That's right.
What was the situation? How did it go? How did you move through it? Did you move through it?
Yeah. If you've ever been in that situation, comment below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. And follow us on Twitter at Protagonist Lab.
And you can check out our blog at protagonistlab.com.
Thanks.
So,
All right, are we rolling?
yeah.
All right.
Things are rolling.